This is KVUE News at 6.
Hi, everybody. Hope you're staying cool tonight. I'm Mike Rush.
And I'm Quita Culpepper. It is the hottest day of the year, a record breaker, and we've been pretty lucky to have been here inside all day, Mike. Well, Albert and the storm team, love them, braved the dangerous heat and helped others do the same by handing out ice-cold water down at the hike and bike trail. Officially, we hit 104 today at Camp Mabry, and while they're not official, we asked you to share the temperatures on your car's thermometers. We saw several 105s, 103s, 109, all the way up to 114. Well, Albert is back from passing out water, and Albert, it is brutal out there.
Especially when you factor in the humidity, topping out at about 110, that feel-like temperature in Austin. Here's a look at high temperatures, air temperatures, as high as 106 this afternoon at Llano, 104 in Austin. So that's a new record, old record 2009, 103, 1 degree shy of the record at the airport, 102, the official high. But again, the heat index, that's the big story still at this hour, feels like 110 Llano and San Marcos, feels like 107 here in Austin. But here's the good news, a lot cooler, 13 to 15 degrees cooler for tomorrow. Rain is in the forecast with a weak front, and those shower chances linger into next week. Much more on that coming up. But if you are going to be outside this evening, you'll want to make sure you do things like take frequent breaks in the shade or other cool places. Wear that lightweight, light-colored clothing made of breathable material. And, of course, you got to drink lots of water. KVUE's Nicole Rosales out along the hike and bike trail. Still a lot of folks exercising despite the heat, Nicole.
The heat is not stopping people from going out, from biking and jogging and running, even though it's much hotter than any other day of this year. But that also means it's putting you more at risk for a heat injury. I spoke to Dr. Ross Tobelman. He's the emergency room medical director at Baylor Scott & White in Round Rock. He says with these temperatures, no one should really be outside doing anything that's too vigorous. Drink before and during your workout. And although there is no magic number on how many ounces of water you need, because it varies person to person, be mindful of a few signs.
Start to feel fatigued. You'll start to feel thirsty. If you're feeling thirsty, you're already dehydrated. You're already behind the 8 ball if you start to feel thirsty. And then you'll start to feel kind of nauseated. And then it progresses to where you can kind of have altered mental status. And then if you're core, meaning that you're confused, you don't know where you are. And then eventually your body will actually stop sweating because you just don't have enough water to sweat anymore.
No sweating indicates a heat stroke. Dr. Tobelman says they get about 3 or 4 patients every day in the ER for heat-related injuries. And again, make sure you hydrate before and after, and don't forget to take those breaks as often as you can. Reporting in Austin, Nicole Rosales, KVUE News.
And of course, you have to make sure that you keep your pets cool too. KVUE's Amber Downing explains our pets can fall victim to heat exhaustion just as easily as we can.
Even though it feels like 110 degrees outside, Frankie and Daisy couldn't wait to play. And they, like all pets, would play all day. So we've got to be the ones to make sure they don't overexert themselves. When it's this hot, pay attention to whether your dog is breathing or panting rapidly. And one of the best indicators of overheating, check out their gums.
The gums should be a regular nice pink, but when they're overheated, they're going to look a little pale. And if you press on them and the color doesn't come back or it takes too long to come back, that's how you know that they're overheated.
Other signs of heat exhaustion, check for excessive drooling or if your dog's tongue curls into a bell shape. And if the ground is too hot to comfortably touch with your hand, it's too hot for your dog's paws.
So if you see that their paws are looking a little damp, a little moist, or if you see sweat marks coming from their feet, that's also how they overheat, because dogs don't sweat the way we do.
If your dog is too hot, get him to a cool place like under shade, by a fan, or inside with air conditioning. Use cold, wet cloths to pat the head and body, and if you can't get it under control yourself, call or head to the veterinarian's office. Amber Downing, KVUE News.
New tonight, the Texas Rangers' investigation into the Greg Kelly case is almost complete. The Rangers have been looking into whether Kelly's friend, Jonathan McCarty, may have been responsible for assaulting a 4-year-old boy instead of Kelly. Prosecutors will use the Rangers' report to decide what to do next in Kelly's case as his attorneys work to get his conviction overturned. Kelly is serving a 25-year sentence for his 2014 conviction of sexual assault of a child. McCarty is in jail on a probation violation for unrelated related drug charges.
The U.S. Department of Justice is backing Texas in its fight with Austin and other cities over the sanctuary cities issue. The cities are suing the state over Senate Bill 4, which requires elected officials to honor ICE detainers and to establish criminal penalties for those who don't. It also protects law enforcement officers who ask people that they've legally detained about their immigration status. Attorney General Jeff Sessions says the DOJ filed a statement in the Texas case, quote, because of the strong federal interest in facilitating the state and local cooperation that is critical in enforcing our nation's immigration laws. The department argues SB 4 is not preempted by the Supremacy Clause, is not inconsistent with the 10th Amendment, and does not violate the 4th Amendment. All arguments made by the cities fighting this law. And next week is a big week for the SB 4 fight. Monday, there's a hearing in San Antonio in the lawsuit filed by the cities against the state. And then Thursday, an Austin judge will hear arguments in the preemptive lawsuit the state filed against Austin and Travis County leaders seeking to have the law declared constitutional. We'll be following both of those cases with coverage here on KVUE and online throughout next week.
Another fight the Texas Attorney General's office is taking up tonight is with California. That state's AG issued a ban on state-sponsored travel to Texas. KVUE political reporter Ashley Godot is in the newsroom. And Ashley, what's the reason for this ban?
Well, Quita, the California Attorney General says a new law passed by Texas lawmakers this session discriminates against LGBT families. And California has a law that bans travel to states that do that. But there's an interesting twist here. On the same day that this announcement was made, the Texas AG released his opinion on a report showing where most people moving to Texas are coming from. You guessed it, it's California. Cranes in the sky, homes flying off the market. And yes, the unbearable traffic, all signs the Austin and Texas economy is booming. In fact, according to the Texas relocation report, Florida was the only state more people relocated to in 2015.
Well, I mean, what is there to not draw people to Texas?
Mark Rylander is the director of communications for the Attorney General's office. He pointed out the largest number of people relocating to Texas are coming from California.
We have the most vibrant economy. These are the greatest times in our state. We're not perfect like most places. However, we have the best food, the best football, the best people, the best culture. Who wouldn't want to come to Texas?
Well, turns out it's California. Its Attorney General added 4 states, including Texas, to the list of restricted state travel. Places state-funded and state-sponsored travel is prohibited if the state has laws that, quote, authorize or require discrimination on the basis of sexual orientation, gender identity, or gender expression, or against same-sex couples or their families. So what Texas law does that? According to California, House Bill 3859. It's the bill lawmakers approved last month that allows faith-based agencies to place children in foster homes based on the group's sincerely held religious beliefs, the work of Representative James Frank.
Because at the end of the day, what we're trying to get is more homes. And I don't think this prevents more homes from coming from any sector of society from coming to the table.
Opponents of the new law and the Attorney General of California say the law allows foster care agencies to discriminate against and disqualify LGBT families. Rylander says the ban is just political grandstanding.
If it wasn't this bill, it would be another bill. And so what we find is California, the left coast, people there who are seeing people leave their state in droves to come to Texas are doing everything they can to build Texas in a bad light.
And the ban is already putting one Texas convention in jeopardy. The National Communication Association is set to meet in Dallas later this year, but leaders say they're now reconsidering. It could also impact university sports. The California AG's office tells me they will provide guidance to universities soon. California now bans state-funded travel to 8 states. Mike and Quita.
Thanks, Ashley.